We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it is the New York Knicks podcast, episode 572, part of Dash Radio. I am Jay. We got Martin here today. How you doing, Martin?
What's up, Jay?
You sound extremely pumped to be...
I am. I'm ready to watch Alex Caruso look like a herb.
He does have a very, very punchable face. So you've been watching the playoffs?
I have. I watched a little bit last night. I watched the Warriors game a little bit. If I had NBA TV, I would have watched the Mavs game. But and I caught a little bit of the late game. What was the early game? The Sixers game. I fell asleep during that, actually.
Yeah, I mean that was.
That was pretty early.
Yeah, we'll go through each series.
Yeah.
I figure we'll start off with a little bit of Knicks talk first, and then we can go into the playoffs.
We're gonna get Brunson.
I feel like we could talk about the Mavs Jazz series first because all our questions are basically about Brunson. So
or Mitchell.
Yeah, or Mitchell, exactly. So Jorge writes, our email is nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. Jorge writes, hey guys, what do you think about Randall and management being at game one of the Mav Jazz? Kind of weird in my opinion.
I guess. What, we're going to do another trade with the Mavs? Is that what the whole thing is? I mean,
they do like ex-Knicks, but also, some of the rumors are that the Knicks want to get Mitchell. So maybe they were like, hey, Randall, how do you feel about Mormons?
Well, I think the Jazz and the Nuggets, right? I feel like they're going to have to break it up this year if they don't go past the first round. They're going to have to change something.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jazz should be better than this. Right?
They're a good regular season team and a pretty bad playoff team, and it's been like that for years.
Something's not right.
It sounds like Gobert and Mitchell aren't really on the same page, and
right.
They definitely need to shake things up. I'm kind of rooting for the Mavs to win because I think if Utah loses in the first round, they're going to blow it up.
So you think there's a better chance at Mitchell versus Brunson, right? Is that what you're thinking?
I do. That brings us to our next question. We're NY Knicks podcast on.
Oh, I don't know the questions, by the way.
That's fine because I'm going to read them.
No, I'm just letting everyone know this isn't staged. It's not. This is all off the cuff.
So Flynn's page writes, how much does the Dallas-Utah series affect Brunson's stock and whether it's worth it when you potentially have a very good young player in IQ? Also, is a Donovan Mitchell trade too early to make for the Knicks?
The problem is you're buying too high on Brunson. He's gonna kill this series no matter what because Luka's not playing, so someone's got to get points. His trade value's gone way up, right?
Well, it's gone way up. I just feel like the better he plays, the more likely the Mavs are to keep him.
Right. Why would they get rid of him?
Right. Oh, you really came through in the playoffs. See ya. Like it doesn't really make sense. They're not a very deep team, and Luka does have a habit of showing up out of shape to begin the season, and usually gets a couple not serious injuries, but he misses a week here or there because rolled his ankle, and you need another guard there. Why wouldn't you keep Brunson? I don't
know why they wouldn't keep him. I mean, he's going to ask for a lot of money, but
yeah, but what are they going to do? Pay Dinwiddie instead? Like, I would much rather.
He's been
Brunson.
good too. That was a good pickup for them.
He's been good, but I feel like it's playing with house money at this point. I mean, if you look at Dinwiddie's career stats versus what he's been doing lately, this is probably just a hot streak. Whereas
he's been on a ton of teams too.
Yeah, I feel like Brunson's more sustainable.
He's younger too.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I would say Mr. Doing Too Much says, what are the odds in your mind Jalen Brunson ends up in Nick?
The Knicks aren't getting anybody.
I would say
Knicks fans have to realize. I'm sorry, they're not. You prove me wrong. When have they gotten somebody?
they got Amari. Well,
And then he punched some glass and fucked everything up.
Well, and they gave him an uninsured contract when the Suns literally said his knees won't last 3 years.
Yeah, they got Amari, and they traded. We've gone through this 1,000 times. They traded for someone they should have signed through a free agent deal.
Yeah, so
That's all they've ever gotten. They've never attracted a free agent. Their trades, they've never really gotten the A piece in a trade. When was the last time they got a top flight player in a trade?
in his prime.
Either in his prime or maybe even a year out of his prime.
Okay, because
Carmelo, maybe
they have like 11 Hall of Famers, but they're all like last year of their careers.
that doesn't count. No, not this New York Knicks, New York Rangers. Let's sign Wayne Gretzky in his last year.
Right,
No.
Jason Kidd and Penny Hardaway and
Like Rolando Blackman, not a Hall of Famer, but a really good player. But when they
Yeah.
got him, he was done.
yeah,
Kiki Vandeweghe, not as good.
yeah. I give
Go
a 20% chance at Brunson, and that might even be a little high.
And they'd probably have to pay a premium too.
Oh yeah, no, they would have to
I
pay
can
like
see Donovan.
20 million.
Sorry,
a year.
go ahead.
20 million a year, probably.
Yeah, I see Mitchell more in the sense that he's from here, but no. And who wants to sign empty stats Randall, or who wants to trade for him? He's empty stats. Yeah, he puts up numbers, but so what? What do they mean?
I mean, he's got talent. I just feel like
He's not a number one.
No, he's not a number one. My thoughts on
two.
Randall, which would defeat the purpose of a Mitchell trade, but I feel like Randall with a really good point guard, he would actually be really good because I feel like he's trying to do too much and trying to be the ball handler and the number one option. So if you put him with a really good guard, so from a Jazz standpoint, trading Mitchell for Randall doesn't make sense.
No, so we're gonna have Mark Jackson. That's the last good point guard we had, right?
We had 6 weeks of Linsanity. We had Skinny Raymond Felton was decent.
He was all right.
Felton round one was okay.
Yeah. When's that point guard walking through the door? And it's not going to happen in the draft.
Single
they don't draft well.
Single game assist leader in the franchise, Chris Duhon.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
The definition of insanity is, hoping for a different outcome, right? Whatever that stupid phrase is, right? This is insane.
Yeah.
They don't do it. And where's the front office doesn't talk. They hide behind the curtain. It's all like, I'm going to talk to MSG. Well, that's great. Talk to MSG. You're not going to give us anything interesting.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's all I'd say.
Brian Burnside asks, will Rokas get a shot to start?
Who? I don't even know who that is.
He's playing. The Knicks have his rights. He is playing in the EuroLeague right now, and apparently he's pretty good. The list of people who have really tore it up in the EuroLeague, and he's not even tearing it up. He's just doing.
Is he a Spur? Is he a San Antonio Spur?
Right. Like there hasn't been too many. I would say he's not going to start. If he came over and even became a bench player, I'd be happy. Like,
look, you could rack this and come back in 2 years and like say he kills it. Oh, idiot that you podcast with didn't know who Rokas was. Thought he was a streaming service on the TV.
Right.
No. I'll say no.
Okay. Mark wants to know. He's taking the week off, but he's giving us work. Yeah.
All right.
Why do Knicks fans act like because we have IQ, we can't bring in another point guard?
Fair question. He's good. He's been decent, but he's not the best point guard in the league.
I feel like, I like him. I feel like he would be really good as a sixth man. Yeah, he could still get 25, 30 minutes because he could play the 1 and the 2.
Right.
But I feel like we still need a number 1 option. But he can have a, Nick Young, Jordan Clarkson, Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, instant off, like a spark off the bench for sure.
Yeah.
Sort of like Steph Curry last.
Yeah, exactly. I I think that's realistic. Let's see. Oh, he said also, will this year's playoffs put an end to the super team trend?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I still root for Milwaukee.
They didn't do like the whole force, like it was smart front office moves, but they drafted Giannis.
Oh no, I don't think they're a super team. What I'm saying is that's why I root for them, because they're not.
Oh yeah. And I would totally root for the Suns if they weren't a whole team of floppers, but they were built the right way. I appreciate teams that build through the draft and then you get like an all-star to put yourself over the top.
The icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's what Miami did with Butler, and I appreciate that. When all the players conspire and totally no collusion, but the team magically has all this cap space just in time for the contracts to line up.
The Nets, the Heat, the old, from the LeBron Heat, the Nets now.
The Nets and the Lakers now. It's not a good year for super teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Lakers didn't even make
I don't think it's going to end. I think the next place LeBron goes is going to be another one. I think he's a puppet master, and wherever he goes, he'll pick his people.
Yeah.
It'll probably be Cleveland again. Yeah, it didn't work in LA because they were too old and too injured.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, they're just really lucky they got a whole healthy season out of Davis, and it worked out, and they won a championship. But the odds of
in a bubble,
but I mean that was like Davis's only healthy season. It's just all the stars aligned for them, and I don't see that happening again.
No, he's an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think you'll still see super teams happen, but you know what? It's good to see teams like Toronto. They built all through the draft and pretty much free agency, right? Not that they're going to win a championship, but
there's a lot of teams.
Like you said, Miami,
Atlanta's
another one. They did that through trading and smart signings.
And some drafting. I mean, Trae Young trading the Donovan pick to get Trae Young. Well, I mean, I don't count that because it was a draft night trade, so that's
right.
Yeah, it still counts.
That worked out for both.
It did. I was very surprised. I thought Trae was going to be a bust, and he's awesome. He's really good.
Yeah, he's probably the biggest bad guy in the league, though.
Yeah, Boston.
Boston's another one
of their guys.
Well, that's how they traded all those guys away to get draft picks.
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was some game Sunday, by the way. Holy moly!
That was.
I actually watched that whole game. That was a really good game.
So, let me read from our sponsor, and then we can go over the matchups. Give our thoughts on the first round so far. So the NBA playoffs means next level basketball. Get in on the first round action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. All DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on NBA hoops with same-game parlays, which is what I do. It's fun. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. Plus, each day of the first round, get a risk-free bet up to $10 if your same-game parlay doesn't hit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code NYKP. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code NYKP at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See this show's notes for details. So
I did.
You did.
I did I've been doing it every day since I think the 16th. They've been offering one $10 bet, same game parlay, risk free.
It's pretty fun.
And I suck, but although I hit one last week, I hit a good one last week. But what did I threw one down tonight. It's a wussy bet, but I wanted to at least win one. What did I actually have a couple of parlays. I took 3 adjusted unders tonight.
Okay.
All 3 games tonight. I took Atlanta, Miami under 228.5, Minnesota, Memphis under 248, and New Orleans and Phoenix under 229.5. So those are all like adjusted underlines because I think in the playoffs I like unders. I think there's more defense.
Yeah. Games.
I know it's like the do not pass line. I know overs are more fun, but That's how the books get you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a money line parlay tonight. It pays even money. Miami, Memphis, and Phoenix. I don't know. I think Miami's going to take both at home. I think Memphis has to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Minnesota's that good. And I think New Orleans is a joke. I think they're going to get swept right out. No doubt.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if New Orleans wins a game in this series. Oh, by the way, the other parlay I did is it pays, what does it pay? 3-1.
Okay.
So
I try and stack up like this player will score this many rebounds, this player will score this many points, and I end up stacking up like 11 of them. And if I win, it's like 100-1, and I always get like 9 or 10 out of 11, and then one player will just do nothing, and
you get shafted.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the same game parlay I did. 10 pays 32. I did. Phoenix adjusted spread -3.5. I took under 231.5. Devin Booker 25 or more points, and Chris Paul over 8.5 assists.
Okay, sounds good.
So the other bet, I have another bet.
Oh wow,
Memphis and Boston to win their series. I took that in the beginning of the series, and that's plus 161.
Okay.
So that's the action. I have it in another app, but I won't talk DraftKings. I won't talk about the other apps.
There is no other app, only DraftKings.
No, there are no other. There are not 9 other sports books in New York. No.
All right, let's go through the series.
Yes.
Phoenix, New Orleans. This is going to be a sweep, right?
It has. I want to almost say, is any game going to be within 10 at this point? I don't know. I know New Orleans kind of kept it close and they were in it. Phoenix is going to kill them. They're too good.
Yeah, New Orleans has a lot of nice pieces, and I feel like if they had a really good player like, I don't know, Zion playing, like this would be a really good team, but he's not.
But you don't like his spin dunks that he's doing in practice? That doesn't do. Him and Ben Simmons, they're the best non-players ever.
So what are we going to get more of? Empty court dunks from Zion or empty court 3-point shots from Simmons?
Why is Ben Simmons taking empty court 3-point shots? He can't even hit those.
I mean, he probably takes 20 and they cut the one he hits and uploads it to the Twitter and be like, look at this. I'm going to unleash this in a game.
Well, yeah, watching him play shadow defense is just not exciting. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that was the other one. He did like a half-speed drive to the net with like a 5'6" trainer on him who stopped even playing defense halfway, and it was like, all right.
The most absurd thing is that people are saying he's going to come. Like, how is he going to fit in, and how many minutes is he going to get anyway?
Who are you talking about, Simmons or Zion?
Simmons? I know we were talking about the other series, but we're talking about injured players anyway. So Simmons,
yeah,
it makes no sense.
He hasn't played in a year. He's not coming back. I mean,
you think he's even in game shape? How could he be?
I don't think there's any way. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the Phoenix series, I think it's over. I don't know how they don't get out of the West. I mean, Golden State's going to be tough if they stay healthy.
I think Golden State can give them a run for their money. If Curry's back to 100% by the time they play, I think that's going to be.
They're tough.
Yeah, that's going to be a long series.
What are they calling themselves now? That starting lineup is tough. I forgot what they called them last night, but like Poole,
Wiggins, Green, Curry, Thompson.
Green, Curry. Oh my God! I mean, they put on a clinic last night.
Yeah,
and that's against a good team.
Death lineup 2.0, they're calling it.
Oh yeah, death lineup. Yeah, and then they got strength off the bench.
So they're up 2-0 against the Nuggets. Nuggets just have too many injuries. They're not.
Yeah, Murray being out all year has just been.
And Porter, they might sneak one win in there, but
I think the altitude they get 1 or 2, maybe.
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 I mean, the Warriors are averaging 125 points a game in this series, so it's. I don't think this is going to be a very long one either.
They look like the Globetrotters last night. It was insane.
Second round is going to be awesome, but this first round has got a couple joke series in them.
There's a couple of good ones in the East. The West, though.
Yeah, that's why I'm going through the West first, because it's really not too much to talk about.
Which is bizarre, right? Like, compared to, like, the last 25 years.
I know. It's usually, like, all 4 West series are awesome, and then the East is basically
like some
jokes until
10-game under 500 teams. That's
yeah, exactly.
barely got in.
That 37 win Pacers team that gets swept and so you got Grizzlies, Timberwolves. Timberwolves are up 1-0.
I think it's Memphis in 6. I think Minnesota's got some pieces, and I don't know. I just think Memphis though it's their turn to win a series. The weird thing about them is with and without Ja. I know Ja is going to be there, but their whole season was bizarre.
They're 25-2 without Ja.
Yeah,
but Ja's
they're good with him, but they're awesome without him. It's just,
I don't know. This is a really bad matchup for Memphis. Like,
it is.
You know, one of their better players is Jaren Jackson, and he can't keep up with Towns. He's just going to get him in foul trouble. And Edwards, nobody can stop. Edwards really he is incredible. So
I'm tired of Patrick Beverley, though, aren't you?
I'm
kind of annoying.
I'm a little tired of him, but I feel like I have sort of a soft spot for Minnesota just because the Knicks in Minnesota have had the two worst records over the last 20 years. So seeing Minnesota do anything, I'm like, yeah, good for them.
The Stephon Marbury Bowl?
yeah, exactly. So I don't know, I think Memphis could even win this. Maybe 6 or 7.
Oh, you mean Minnesota?
I mean, Minnesota. I think they could win this in like 6 or 7.
I think they could. I think the better matchup would have been the Clippers for Memphis.
Oh my God, the Clippers!
But Memphis won the NBA championship in that playing game, so it was
Minnesota. You mean
Minnesota? See, the M's can't keep them straight.
I will say if Memphis doesn't win tonight, that they're in big trouble. I don't think they
down 2-0 going to Minnesota?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And you know, that being it's a young team too. It's not like they have a lot of vets who've seen this before.
They only played the play-in? Did they play the play-in last year?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah, so they can get rattled pretty easy, I think. So
did they play the play-in and get swept out or something like that? Or did they lose the play-in? They don't have a lot of experience, to your point.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And last one in the West, we have Mavs Jazz, which we talked about a bit.
I think it's all about if Luka comes back. You know, Dallas put themselves in a position to win the series if he comes back.
So they're talking about maybe for Game 3, which means probably for Game 4.
Yeah, and he's got to be 80 to 90%. Otherwise, I love him. I've made a lot of money on him this year, betting a lot of overs, but I don't know.
Say they
without
lose
him, they're a G League team without him. I can't believe it took a Brunson almost 40-point effort the other night, right?
It was 40 points, yeah.
It was 40, yeah. I thought it was 38, but it was 40, yeah. Well, that's not going to happen again.
So say they go down 2-1. You still think it would be the last 4 games would be 2 in Dallas, 2 in Utah. Do you still think they could pull it off?
It could go 7.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Utah. They're weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird team.
Yeah,
they should be better.
They should, and we say this every year. Like, you look at the standings, and they're like last year. What were they, second? And they did nothing. So,
I think Gobert. I don't know. Patient zero is a. I don't know if his teammates like him. He's a great defender, of course, and everything, but something's not right with that team. They should have won last night going away. And I'm a little bitter because I bet them, but you know, I don't get it. They can't lose to a Mavs team without their best player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Brunson and or Dinwiddie as the second best option are not even close to him.
Yeah, I think this one's a toss up. I'm gonna go with Dallas just because I want to see Utah blow it up.
All right, I do too. I think it'll at least make good for Knicks talk, right?
Yeah, I don't want to like every episode talk about what it would take to get Mitchell in a trade, so we'll skip that. We got a long off season, but
Mark's gonna bring it up. That's all right.
He's definitely gonna bring it up, so we'll do that next week. Okay, Eastern Conference,
right?
Heat Hawks. This is probably gonna be a sweep too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Heat had a weird ending to the season. They were fighting and all that other stuff, but I think they figured it out. the Hawks may get a game. They may get a game in Atlanta.
The problem is Capella got injured, and then Collins missed like a month or two, and he's still on a minutes limit. So
Trae Young could steal him a game, though.
He could. I mean, it's just when you're missing, I don't know. I feel like that's too much, too many guys out for them.
Well, yeah, and you know what? A lot of fool's gold this year, right? Like the Knicks were fool's gold last year. The Hawks beating the Knicks and then getting all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
I think they peaked too soon. If that's anything, like I don't know. I was shocked I thought they'd get the playoffs last year. I didn't think they'd go that far.
I don't think anybody did. I also didn't think they would have to get into the play-in game just to make the playoffs.
Just to barely get in,
losing nobody.
Yep. Yeah, they took almost as big of a dive as the Knicks did when you think about it. So
yeah,
they just were that much better. But I say Heat in 5.
That's fair.
I agree.
A gentleman's sweep.
There you go. Yes, a token win.
Celtics Nets, which is
the
series of the first round.
I give it 2 middle fingers.
I mean, I hate rooting for Boston, but I'm not rooting for the Nets.
Oh, I'm rooting for Boston.
Yeah. I think most Knicks fans are rooting for Boston, which
I think most New Yorkers are rooting for Boston.
Yeah, true.
Which has never, ever happened against the New York team.
Well, second round, we'll all be rooting for whoever they play in the second round. But right now...
Think about Mets fans, right? I guess they root for Boston if they play the Yankees. But the Yankee fans, I don't know. That's kind of iffy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about Boston teams. Like, we hate Boston.
No,
Go Boston.
If it was a Mets Red Sox World Series, I'd be rooting for the Mets.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be rooting for the Red Sox. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't know, man. I think it's going 7, but I think either of these teams is going to get killed, and they're not going to do anything going forward.
Really?
I think they're going to beat each other up, and they're going to be totally fatigued. While who's the next matchup? Is it Milwaukee or?
Yeah, it'll be winner of Milwaukee, Chicago. So Milwaukee.
Yeah, so Milwaukee. I mean, well, maybe we'll just segue into that a little bit, but Milwaukee's going to kill Chicago.
Yeah,
and so they're going to be well rested. They're very experienced, and I think Boston and the Nets are just going to. That was a slugfest. That was 90s basketball the other day.
It was amazing finish. I don't know. I think this series Boston could win in 5 or 6. I think because
wow,
I think Durant is ridiculous, and Kyrie could go off at any moment, but they're pretty thin beyond that.
And they both don't have good games together. It seems
that and Drummond doesn't seem to play well against the Celtics, and then after that you have Claxton and. He just looks like kind of scared out there, and then you got Patty Mills, who like fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened to that guy last month. And
he was good in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Right after I dropped him, he went off for like 50 straight games. Curry can go off, and Brown's all right, but I feel like there's not that much there beyond their top. I mean, granted, their top 2 are ridiculous, but. You're going to need that every game.
I don't think Nash is a good coach either. I think he gets out coached a lot. That's just my opinion. I think he makes some questionable rotation decisions and substitutions.
It's hard with his rotations. Like it's not a very good.
I know
it's not a very good roster. I mean, they were planning on having a big 3. They have
when they had a good roster before they made all these stupid trades to get all these important players that mean nothing.
Right. But I mean, if you had Joe Harris and Ben Simmons, then
Joe Harris is a big loss for them.
Yeah,
he's pretty important.
Yeah,
and losing the Fro to Cleveland, he was a big piece last year, I thought. And
yeah. I mean, if they, I don't know. That was a big. Jared Allen was
it's a key piece.
They've been looking for big men ever since.
I don't know. And then they have Drummond, and they have who else? Claxton. They got another big guy. Griffin. What happened to Blake Griffin? Like what injury knocked him out? Like
I think it
I
was
was watching a highlight reel of him the other day doing all these ridiculous dunks.
I mean,
And
the
now
guy
he's
had
just
like
an outside shooter.
guy had like 7 knee surgeries. Like,
Was it 7 knee surgeries?
I don't know if it was 7. It was a lot, and like he just got a little bit slower with each one, and now it's like, he's probably got
He's like grounded like me.
Yeah, he's probably got like a 45-year-old's knees now. So
it's a weird team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I hope Boston kills them, but I don't know. I think Durant's too good for them. I mean, you think 5 or 6? I think it goes 7.
I think 6. All
right.
I think
the 6.
Yeah, I think Durant goes supernova at least twice, and once he does that, there's not much he can do. But I think too much is being put on his shoulders right now, and I just don't. And Boston is just so good defensively that I don't think he's going to be able to do it the whole series.
Did you see something funny about the gambling? So like they were like the 3rd favorite, which is insane, to win the NBA title. That was like no way. And then after the first game, they dropped to like 10th favorite.
Because
just after one game. Because they lost by 1 point at a buzzer.
Yeah, like a buzzer beater. Like that shouldn't. If anything, that should show that they can go toe to toe with the 2 seed and like.
Exactly.
I think it would raise confidence.
Did you really think they were the 3rd best team coming into the playoffs, though? Hell no.
No. I thought Phoenix, Golden State, Boston, Miami,
Milwaukee, Miami,
Milwaukee.
Even Philly's better.
No,
you think they're on par?
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But
oh boy,
I probably put Nets like 6th.
All right, that's not 3rd.
It's not 3rd. Bucks, Bulls. This one's another. I mean, without Lonzo Ball, it's
kills him.
Yeah,
it kills him. He was the most important. Like I know Levine's awesome. Ball is the thing that makes that thing go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And DeRozan's good too, but no Ball, no chance.
Well, the thing is, it seems like just DeRozan and Levine are just taking turns playing hero ball, and Lonzo Ball is the one who kind of held that together and
sets him up,
made it
plays good D.
Easier. Yeah, and
you miss a good two-way player. Hey, what could the Knicks use? Someone like Lonzo Ball or LaMelo Ball,
except that he's
or
injured.
Any Ball.
Well, he's injured, not playing, so it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference.
No, but like you could see how good the Bulls were though when he was there.
Yeah, they went.
It's a different team.
1 seed to the 6th seed without him.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, and Milwaukee is. I'm surprised they only won by 7, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean they were killing them in the beginning, and then the Bulls made kind of a comeback. But so who do you got for MVP? You think you're going to give it to a 6 seed player?
Yeah, look at the rest of his roster. That's like a lottery team that got to the 6th seed in the West. Like, like swap out. Well, who do you got? Embiid?
I love Giannis. I would give him the MVP every year. He's my favorite player. Well, Curry's my favorite player, but Giannis is second. But I think you got to give it to Embiid this year. I mean, think about all the turnover and weird shit that happened in that team. You take him out of there, that team doesn't sniff the playoffs.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tobias Harris gets a bad rap. He's good. You got him, Maxey, Harden. Like, I feel like in the East, is that much worse than the Hawks?
He's 35, 40 points automatic, at least up until these last couple games. But like, I don't know. I hear you on Jokic. He's a good player, but when he plays against good teams, you can see him exposed. I like Embiid. I hate him, but I like him for the MVP. I mean, I would bet him for the MVP, but we're in New York. We can't do that.
Yeah, which is weird. You could bet on everything else, but not that.
I could bet on a golfer winning a tournament.
Yeah. I
could bet on an over and under. I can't bet on the MVP.
I can bet on Nick Claxton to hit 1 or more 3-pointers.
Yes. I could bet on him hitting the next field goal.
Yeah.
If they're playing right now, right?
So, yeah, I mean, I had him beat second in MVP, so it's not like, and then Giannis third.
All right. There you go.
But Philly, they're killing the Raptors right now.
But the COVID comes into play here.
Yes, it does. It does. So the next 2 games are in Toronto, Tybalt isn't vaccinated, and you can't play in Toronto if you're not vaccinated.
And that is a big deal. I think he's an important defensive player.
You look at the box score and you're like, what's the big deal? But he's their best defender by far.
He's the best defender, and it's one less guy in the rotation.
Yeah.
So I give Toronto a puncher's chance to maybe take 2.
Yeah, and we haven't seen real playoff Harden yet, which is when he chokes. So there's
How are the strip clubs in Toronto?
I heard they're good, so that might be a problem.
Oh.
That might be
Is Drake going to take him around?
Probably. I mean, if I was Drake, I would. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Although
the old Michael Jordan trick. Let's go gambling and go on a bender, Patrick Ewing, and then I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, right now it doesn't look good, but I don't think Toronto is this bad, and I don't think Philly is this good.
I agree.
I
think Toronto is underrated because you don't know half the players, right? You don't see them much.
The problem was Barnes going down, and they already had a couple injuries on that roster, so they're pretty banged up right now.
And Van Vliet looked kind of pedestrian the last game. I thought he took some weird shots.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still give Toronto a chance. To your point, I don't think Philly's that. I think Philly's playing above their baseball card.
Yeah.
And
I still think they're going to win in 6 or 7, but
I say 6.
I don't think they're going to get out of the second round.
Nope. I think Harden's going to show his true colors at some point. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and again, you're depending on Embiid to play 4 healthy rounds in a row, which is also
stretch.
It's a stretch.
Although he's been a lot healthier than I thought he'd ever be coming out of college.
Absolutely.
I thought he would be like Anthony Davis is.
Yeah, and people are saying that with as far as Zion, like, oh, look at Embiid. Embiid played even less minutes, less games his first 3 seasons.
Right.
But Embiid never really looked like Zion does, and I feel like knee problems, I've seen players recover when you start fracturing your foot. That I'm just thinking Yao and like,
yep.
Foot is a completely different thing. I don't see it. It'll all depend. If the Knicks get him, then he'll be injured the rest of his career, and if the Knicks don't get him, then he'll have a resurgence and be like Embiid.
He'll either be injured or he'll have some kind of psychological problem with the crowd being there, and then he won't be able to perform anymore.
Right.
Oh, oops.
Okay, so second round,
more, right?
we're both.
Did we get them all?
Yeah,
that was it.
That was it.
Oh,
I mean, we didn't really have much to say, but like 4 of the series because they're just going to be ass kickings.
Walkovers. Yeah.
So we both have Miami over Philly, right?
Yes, I would say so.
And then Bucks Celtics.
Good series. Take the Bucks.
I
think the Bucks. I would love to see a rematch and see because I think Phoenix would beat them this time.
LeBron leaves the East, and all of a sudden the East is like
awesome.
I mean, for the Celtics to make the finals, they're gonna have to beat the Nets, the Bucks, and the Heat. That's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Like,
or for any of them to meet, like, think about it. Any of those teams, they have to go through tough teams.
This is probably the hardest road to the Eastern Conference Finals I've seen in 20 years.
I couldn't even tell you the last time it was that competitive.
I don't even think I'm exaggerating. There's usually like a first round bye, like
right. There's no easy. Well, because the Nets, right? They're so low seeded.
Yeah,
the Nets should never have been in a playing game with that talent.
Right,
but they were.
Yeah, that's a crazy 7 seed, and even the 6 seed is.
Yeah. Well, that's an injury team, right? You never bet the injury team. The injury team's they don't know how to play that way.
Yeah. I mean, Bucks aren't gonna, I don't think, have too much trouble, but that could have been, if Ball like magically came back or something.
Oh, that would have been a good series.
Yeah, that would have been a really good series.
I agree. So,
okay, and do you want to predict West?
Phoenix, Golden State, right?
It would be Phoenix and then Mav or Jazz. So
Right. No, I'm saying in the finals. It's going to be Phoenix, Golden State. I think that's where we're headed. Don't you think?
'cause, Golden State's gonna beat the Nuggets, and then I don't see them losing to the Grizz or the Timberwolves. So yeah, Phoenix, Golden State. That's gonna be.
That's an insane series.
Yeah,
insane.
I'm looking forward. The conference finals in both. They're just gonna be amazing this year. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think this. I predicted Phoenix. Not that this was a long shot in the beginning of the year. I think they needed to learn how to lose. It's like one of these. All right, we lost a tough series. We should have won. I think they're ready to go. I think it's their turn. But
I'm gonna
Golden State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Golden State just because last year was the first year where Chris Paul didn't get his annual playoff injury, and he's a year older. He's in his late 30s.
You think it's common?
And Phoenix can't do anything without Chris Paul.
Oh, if he's gone,
yeah,
forget it.
Yeah, I mean, you have Campaign or Elfrid Payton. Like,
no,
they're in a. Yeah.
We saw what they were without him. They did okay, actually, for once this year, but no way, not against real teams.
No. So.
Yet the Warriors could afford to lose a guy, at least in the short term, and I think they'd be all right, but they're not going to win any kind of titles without everyone being healthy.
Do you know how many minutes the Warriors starting lineup played together this season?
Was it 1?
11 minutes.
It was 11. It was one game, right? Or something? It was
the first 8 seconds of game 1, and then it was like something like the second to last game of the season.
Well, how many minutes I mean, that's bad. Not as bad as, but Irving and what you call it?
Last
Durant.
year? Oh, yeah. That's true.
How long have they played together?
Well,
that's not much either.
I mean, if you count the whole Harden, Durant, Irving, like.
Oh, it was something insanely low.
Yeah, it was like 19 games over 1.5 seasons or something. It was crazy.
So bad.
Yeah.
I hate James Harden. Oh my God, I hate him.
I don't know how anybody roots for him. I really don't. Like, it's
like who models their game after him? Like, who thinks like he's awesome? He's cool.
It's like you want to watch a guy just try and foul bait the entire game. Like, he's a good passer, but like, and
a good free throw shooter.
He's a really good free throw shooter, but like, I don't want to watch somebody just try and ref bait the entire game. I think that's terrible.
Nope. No, that's what ruins the game, and that's why they had to change the rules.
Which they stopped because I saw really bad rip through in the Celtics Nets game, and
this one.
Yeah, it's like that's how you shoot now. Yeah, I saw it. That's bad. NBA always does that. Well, we're going to crack down on this, and then they do it for like 20 games, and they're like, this is hard work. We're just going to go back to...
Yeah, let's put the whistles away.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, have you watched Winning Time yet?
No.
You need to.
Yeah.
It's cheesy, but it's really good.
Okay. I'll get on that.
Especially with the whole Kyrie Irving stuff, and God knows what fans are saying. They touch on how awful Boston fans... Look, they were way worse back in the day. I mean, with the racism and everything, but
you didn't want to go to the
I'm sure he's getting handled pretty tough. I mean, at a Red Sox game, they're chanting Kyrie sucks.
Yeah. No, I lived in Boston for a few years. It's absolutely brutal there. They hold a grudge.
But you should watch it if you have HBO or you know someone with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's really like Kathy likes it. My wife, she likes it. And she hates basketball.
But, when I was living in Boston during the 50-year Red Sox drought, so they chanted the Yankees suck everywhere. It's like
no matter where.
I was at a Celtics game and they chanted Yankees suck, and then I went to a Tool concert and they're chanting Yankees suck. I'm like, give it a rest, guys.
Yeah, we're at a Tool concert. Not even.
I know. It's like. You can't go 5 minutes.
What's the opposite of a basketball game? A Tool concert.
I know. It's crazy.
But no, you should watch. But it's basketball related. You should watch it. It's really good.
I will. But, all right. You got anything else you want to bring up?
The Knicks suck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Your listeners need to come to the grips that they will not get anybody, and they will probably have the same stupid roster next year. And the same coach, which I'm not against, by the way. I don't know about you.
Not really. I want to see what he looks like coaching a team with an actual like point guard.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think I would expect nothing. And if you get something, then hey, you feel better about it. But you can't think you're getting Donovan Mitchell or Rick Brunson Jr. I just want to say that because he was in there. You're not gonna get these guys. You're probably gonna get some Butler guy, right? Like another or whatever. Like another not Butler. Who did they get this year that didn't play? Was
Cam Reddish?
No, not Reddish. The other guy, older, former Hornet.
Karan Butler?
Yeah. No. Who's the guy who got hurt this year? I'm drawing a blank.
On the Knicks?
Yeah, got hurt. They sat him for the last 20 games. They're like, screw it, you
Kemba
suck.
Walker.
Kemba Walker. I keep thinking Karan Butler because of UConn. Kemba Walker. Yeah, let's get him. Good signing.
Yeah.
Did you do they do health checks on these people?
I mean that's the crazy thing. Like you didn't realize like Memphis paid him to leave. Like there was probably a reason for that.
Well, it's like when Bill Belichick gets rid of guys. You don't sign them because he knows.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, yeah, no, we're good. Oh, let's sign him. Let's see what happens. And then he's gimping in. Kemba Walker. That was our big signing.
Yep.
Good job. And you have like one good game, two good games?
Yeah. That was about it. All right. You want to do Brink with us next week?
Sure.
All right.
What day?
What
day? What time? Let's promote it.
We'll plan it. I don't know. Tuesday.
Sure.
All right.
Tuesday's work.
Brink of Sanity is our comedy show. You can check that out. It's me and Mark, and then Martin's been on a few episodes, and it's always a good time.
Yes.
And we'll do that
fun.
next week. Yeah. And
all right, man.
So thanks for listening, everybody, and we will be back next week.
See ya.
My love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end.